Hello and welcome. This is Lunchtime Politics on Channels Television. I am Bukola Koka. First, the main stories. Former Minister of Justice and Attorney General of the Federation, Abubakar Malami, granted bail alongside his wife and son. A Turaki-led faction of the People's Democratic Party meets with former President Goodluck Jonathan as they look to end the party's constant issues. Welcome once again. The Federal High Court sitting in Abuja has granted bail to former Minister of Justice and Attorney General of the Federation, Abubakar Malami, alongside his wife and son. Presiding Judge Justice Emeka Nwite approved bail in the sum of 500 million naira each with two sureties and like sum. Justice Nwite ruled that the sureties must possess a landed property located in high-value areas of the Federal Capital Territory, including Asokoro, Maitama or Gwarimpa. The court further directed that all travel documents belonging to the defendants be surrendered, barring them from leaving the country without prior court approval. Property documents submitted by the sureties are to be verified by the Deputy Chief Registrar of the court, while the sureties must also swear to affidavits of means. Additionally, Malami and his sureties were ordered to submit two recent passport photographs to the court. Despite the bail approval, the former Attorney General has been remanded at the Kuje Correctional Center pending the fulfillment of the bail conditions. Justice Nwite has fixed February the 17th for the commencement of trial in the corruption case. The same bail conditions were extended to Malami's son, Abdulaziz Malami, and an employee of Rahamaniya Properties Limited, Hajia Asabe Bashir. The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, is prosecuting the defendants on a 16-count charge bordering on alleged money laundering. Now to politics. The leadership of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, led by Turaki, did meet with former President Goodluck Jonathan to seek his support in bolstering the party's fortunes. The meeting held behind closed doors at the former President's Abuja office was attended by several founding members of the PDP, including former Niger State Governor Babangida Mwazu and former Minister of Information, Professor Jerry Gana.
We came this evening to visit one of our very important leaders, former President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, President Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, GCFR, PhD. First, to introduce members of the newly elected National Working Committee to him, and then to tell him what we've been doing since our election in the National Convention that was held last November in Ibadan. We briefed him on the state of the party, the challenges, the prospects. I have been able also to explain. We have solicited, as usual, for his support, for his guidance, for his advice, as always. And we have his assurance that he's still a card-carrying member of the People's Democratic Party. He's still active and will even be more active these days in the activities and affairs of the People's Democratic Party. And he has assured us that PDP had done everything for him that can be done to an individual, and that he still feels that he remains obligated to PDP.
And now, as the internal issues within the PDP hots up, it appears that one faction is determined to bring about peace by calling in the cavalry in the person of former President Goodluck Jonathan. What more must be done to bring the chaos to a halt and return the PDP to its glory days as Nigerians knew it? Joining us now is a member of the PDP, Mr. Babatunde Faru, who joins us now from Abuja. Mr. Faru, good afternoon, sir, and thank you for joining us on the program.
Okay, good afternoon, presenter, and wishing you a happy new year.
A happy new year to you too, and it's Bukola. Let's begin with the statement given to journalists by the group head of the PDP, the Saminu Turaki group. Mr. Turaki said they're soliciting the support and guidance of former President Goodluck Jonathan, amongst other things that we'll get to. But in which areas, particularly of the challenges that the PDP is having, is the party soliciting President Jonathan's support for? And what exactly, what's the nature of the intervention that the Turaki group is seeking Mr. Jonathan to carry out? And we gather, by the way, that you were in that meeting. So perhaps you want to give us some insight.
Okay, Madam Bukola, I wasn't in that meeting, but I've read the piece from the meeting, and I've also put calls to someone that was in that meeting yesterday, this morning, to know what really transpired. And I also, there was a very, very fruitful meeting. The NWC, led by Saminu Turaki, met the former president, President Goodluck Jonathan, and together with the former governor of Niger State, Professor Jerry Ghana, and other members of the NWC. And he was extremely, extremely happy about the visit, and he let them understand that he's still a card-carrying member of the party. And even though for a while he has not been so active in the affairs of the party, that is going to change that going forward and get more active. I'm also aware that he gave some very valuable suggestions to the NWC on how best to proceed going forward. He commended some of the steps they've taken since they assumed their leadership, the reign of the party in December, and he advised them on the need to open the frontiers of reconciliation to see how they can bring every factor and every other part back into the party. So it's a very, very, very good thing, because as of now, if I could recall, he's still the only former president that is still known as today, recognized as a member of the party, and his experience, his contact, his reach, and his ability as a statesman to call all warring factors together is going to really help the party going forward. And we intend to see fruit of this in coming days so that we can resolve this problem that the party has currently.
Speaking of which, you say he advised that the party should encourage reconciliation. Does this include reconciliation with the Wike group of the PDP?
Okay, the reconciliation in itself, it cannot be one-sided. I want to believe he include talking to not only the Wike camp, any other aggrieved camp within the structures of the party. It's not only people loyal to Wike that are angry. We have a lot of people that have also gone mute over the period of time, not happy about the happiness in the party, and they've not been active. Some have left, some are there, but they are not really, really contributing. So I think this reconciliation is supposed to be all encompassing. But it's going to start from, obviously, the Wike camp to see how they can have some level of conversation and see how we can resolve. But above all, he was very, very happy with the steps the current NWC have taken. But not also, talking about the Nyesom Wike camp, really, I really hope that we can quickly look at this window, because that is the real block now that is really, really causing quite a lot of frictions in the party. So if we can quickly get that in, that will be the template that we'll use to get others in. So when we talk about reconciliation, obviously it's going to include the Nyesom Wike's camp, if we have to make some appreciable progress.
Well, because I put that question through because I wanted to find out, if all groups within the PDP are on the same page. We did have an interaction with a chieftain of the party earlier this morning, Chief Imao Gidi, who ruled out completely reconciliation with the Wike group. Using his words, he said, how do you reconcile with someone who wants to pull your house down? So in the light of the circumstances, even with allegations put forward by the Oyo State governor that at a certain meeting, Minister Nyesom Wike did promise to hold down the PDP for Mr. President ahead of the 2027 election. And subsequently, you and I can tell, what has happened to the PDP afterwards. So would you advise, again, when you have this background, that the PDP reconciles with the Wike group?
Okay, I had a conversation in this studio sometimes before the convention of the party, and I raised a lot of issues, which is coming into fore now. Yes, I've said it clearly. I believe the Nyesom Wike-led group is not working for the general interest of the PDP. I believe they are influenced by external pressures, external influence, and the bigger motive is probably to make sure that PDP doesn't have a candidate going forward in 2027. Moreover, I also don't believe that political issues can be resolved via only the legal option. I still believe there's a window to talk. Let's talk. We shouldn't shut it down. Currently, INEC is not recognizing any of the as I'm talking, any of the leadership. They're looking at what's going to be the outcome of the court. But if there's a window, I think we should talk. But if they stick to their guns that the intention is to cripple the party, then the party just have to put in the skins in there and see how to deal with them. If a man cooks for an entire village, it makes a whole lot of sense. But when the whole community, the whole village cooks for one man, we know there's a problem. And I also advise the FCT minister, you can't bring that the entire room. You can't, if the entire PDP member sees you as an enemy, it's only a matter of time. People you think as friends today also see you as enemies. So she watch his steps, see how she retrace his steps, and see how we can all join together and move this party forward.
Let me ask this direct question. Do you believe that the PDP can solve its issues, particularly the matters that are in court, without reconciling with the Wike group?
Okay, I'm aware there's appeal currently in the appellate court, and we just hope the Justice of the Court of Appeal could quickly look at this. I'm aware also that papers are being filed and motions are being sent in. If this case could be speedily heard one way or the other, we can have some form of resolution. But again, thankfully, we have leaders in the party, people like President Goodluck Jonathan. If they could talk to Nyesom Wike to see a way of piping down, maybe a bit of give and take, I think we can resolve this issue within the next few months. But if not, this is also an appeal to my Lord, Justice of the Court of Appeal. This case has to do with a case of democracy, it's a case of polity. To see how we can speed up this case, and let's hear these substantive matters once and for all, and have a definite pronouncement on the legality on who should be piloting the affairs of the party. Once that is over, then the party will move forward. But there's a need for speed and for us to make sure that this is done speedily. But still not dropping talking reconciliation. I've heard the former minister, the current minister said he's pushing for a caretaker, an all-encompassing caretaker committee. Let's keep talking. Let's see if one or two things can give. But in all this reconciliation, the paramount interest of the party should not be sidelined, and the party should make sure that his interests are protected. We must have candidates at every position in 2027. That should be the paramount interest. Any conversation that has to do with you guys should not have presidential candidates, I don't think it's a kind of options to be taken. So I feel that reconciliation can happen, but still, the legal process should continue, and I pray that we speed up this quickly.
So if I get you correctly, you're proposing a political solution if by asking that, or by suggesting that it's possible to ask President Jonathan to, prevail on Minister Nyesom Wike And the reason I asked the initial question is because Mr. Wike has made it clear that he's supporting President Bola Tinubu in the 2027 general election. So if President Jonathan is able to prevail on Nyesom Wike, regardless of his publicly declared support for President Jonathan, do you believe that all of the INEC issues with INEC refusing to recognize the Turaki-led group of the PDP and the other cases in court can be resolved, and then the PDP can present a presidential candidate in 2027?
Yes. Former Governor Nyesom Wike is at liberty to support anybody. If he wants to support President Bola Ahmed Tinubu in 2027, he's within his right. What we are saying is, let PDP breed. Let it just stay. Let them also have their own candidate. We're not saying you should support the PDP candidate. What we're saying is this: let the party breed. Don't shackle the party. Don't keep the party down. And the party will be in a position that they will not even have a candidate. So with President Goodluck Jonathan coming in, he made him Minister of State when he was president. He was also very instrumental to him becoming the governor of Rivers when he became the Rivers governor. By virtue, the active support of his wife, Mrs. Patient Jonathan, really tilted the favor in Nyesom. So I believe they can help to rein in Nyesom Wike. Well, he can go and support Saishwa Bola Ahmed Tinubu for what it is, but let the party just be. Let them have their own candidates, and let the people have an option on who they want to be the president that will pilot the affairs of the party from 2027 upward. What we don't want is crippling the structure, making sure there is no candidate, there is no option. That is what we don't want. You can go and support Saishwa Bola Ahmed Tinubu.
All right, so it's about political weight. So let's see how much weight Dr. Jonathan can pull on Minister Nyesom Wike. Just before we go to the next and equally important aspect of this conversation, you doubled down earlier on the assurance given by former President Jonathan that he's still a card-carrying member of the PDP. And we did hear Mr. Turaki say that yesterday. Why would the party be in doubt about the political affiliation of Mr. Jonathan?
Okay, over the past, since President Goodluck Jonathan left office in 2015, he has not actually been very, very active. I can't recall any convention of the party, which I was in the convention in 2023. I did not think he attended. The convention of 2019, I followed as a participant. He didn't attend. So there is quite and I can't recall any meeting of the party, be it NEC or convention, that he has actually actively participated. But now, hearing from him again yesterday is a sense of reassurance. And he also explained that because of his current role in Africa and in ECOWAS, in the area of election monitoring and democracy furthering, he was not supposed to be seen to be actively involved in partisan politics. But that is about to change, and he's going to take a more active role. So I guess his personal confession yesterday has at least reassured and reallayed the fears of people that maybe he has left the party, because he has not actually been active since 2015.
Besides his inactivity, does this have anything to do with the constant appearance of his names in suggestions for contest in the presidency, not just ahead of the 2027 presidential election? In fact, ahead of the 2023 presidential elections, there were suggestions that his name was being proposed, even, for participation under the platform of the APC at the time. And in the last couple of months, last year, towards the end of last year, there was a meeting between the former president and the presidential candidate of the Labour Party in the 2023 presidential election. And that got a lot of political, pundits speaking to what that meant. So is that this doubt have anything to do with the proposal for him to contest the presidential election, and under which platform he would possibly be considering, if he was considering accepting to be in the race at all?
Okay, Madam Bukola, I also read a lot of piece last year that he might be throwing his hat to the ring. In fact, a lot of groups were created, a lot of WhatsApp groups. Some of them I found myself in there, where people were really pushing that he's going to run. But he has not told anybody that he wants to run in 2027. Personally, for me, I try to reach out to one or two people that seems to be close to him, and there is no confirmation that he intends to run. But I know he's within his right to run. Although some people might say constitutionally he can't run, I've looked at the law. I'm not a judge, but I think he's qualified to run. And if he throws his hat to the ring, I think he's eminently qualified, and a lot of Nigerians will rally around him to see what he can offer. So,
is that part of what was discussed yesterday? Is that part of what was discussed yesterday?
That was in the meeting. The person I spoke to that was in the meeting did not tell me if he said he's going to run, but the person said he was very excited about the party, that in coming days he's going to be very, very active. The person was silent. The piece I got was silent about either he's going to run for office or he's not running. But in coming days, more and more accounts of the meetings will be out, and I will clearly know truly if he's picking the direction of running for office, which is constitutionally qualified to if he wants to.
All right. We'll know whether your source was accurate or not in the coming days, but we must anchor at this point. And thank you for coming on Lunchtime Politics. Mr. Babatunde Faro is a PDP chieftain. Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much, Madam Bukola. Thank you.
And just before we go, the All Progressives Congress in Delta State has emphasized the need for internal democracy, fairness, and broad participation at ward and constituency levels. This was made known during a stakeholder sensitization meeting in Agbo, Ika Federal Constituency of the state, which brought together party leaders, elected representatives, and members to sensitize them on the importance of the party's electronic registration exercise, as well as key organizational issues ahead of the forthcoming party activities. The meeting also provided an opportunity for leaders and members to exchange views, strengthen cohesion, and reaffirm their commitment to unity within the party.
I believe that looking at the number of persons here and the quality of persons that we have here, ordinarily we should not have any cause to worry politically. But as so many people have spoken, if we all decide that we have to work together and to start now, not tomorrow, I'm sure that we'll be able to command the space in all the 26 wards of the Ika Federal Constituency.
The e-registration process is a national program that our party has announced to digitize our membership register. I think we're the first political party to attempt this innovation that is looking to set our record straight and make it easily usable and accessible for both planning and policy purposes.
The Lagos State Governor, Mr. Babajide Sanwo-Olu, has called on members of the ruling All Progressives Congress to actively participate in the party's ongoing electronic registration exercise. The governor, who was speaking after registering in Ward 3, St. Stephen's Primary School, Adeniji Adele in Lagos Island, says the exercise, scheduled to run throughout the month of January, is aimed at encouraging all existing and new APC members to formally validate their membership through the digital platform. He described the APC e-registration ongoing across the country as a civic responsibility and a key requirement for genuine party membership in Lagos State.
In Lagos, we have 245 wards, and each one of them have two tablets. They have a printer, they have generator in places where there is no light, and they also have internet connectivity. What we're doing is for all members of APC to go online and to register as a party member, digitally, and one of the first things it will ask you is your NIN number, just to sit and be sure that you have a back-end data using your NIN. You know, and once you're able to do that, you'll also check if you have a voter's card, you know, or not. And once every document has been completed, you get a printed, a temporary membership slip. So the whole exercise, as a party man, is for us to encourage all of our members in the country, but more importantly in Lagos State, for them to go out there and register. For me, it's very important. This is what will validate and confirm that you are a card-carrying member of our party. So every party member who truly really is deserving to be called a party member should take this exercise very seriously in our ward and in the state to please find out the time, create the time, and it's just a 5-10 minutes exercise. And this is an opportunity for all existing and new APC members, especially the younger people, to come out and exercise this right. There nobody's asking you for anything. Just come here and register and collect the slip, you know, and be a member of the party, you know, and it's time for us to show sincerity and show commitment, you know, of the party, and it's important.
And that's it on the program. You have been served today's edition of Lunchtime Politics. Thank you for watching. Don't forget, we'll be back again same time tomorrow. I am Bukola Koka. Bye for now.